Hey guys, welcome to another video on Kotlin. Today we are going to be focusing on what is called control flow, which basically covers things like if statements, when statements, loops like for loops and while loops and do while and for each. But for this specific video we're going to be focusing just on if statements. So without further ado, I have in front of me Android Studio and I have a REPL file. If you want to have a REPL file open, simply double tap Shift, type in REPL and then click on the Kotlin REPL option right over here. Let's jump straight into it. I am going to create a super awesome wicked variable called my age and I'm going to give it the value of 10. And then immediately after that I will do I will write what is called an if function, okay, which starts off with the word if, space if you like, and then two brackets, opening bracket and closing bracket. Inside here I will type in the word my age, which is a variable, right? So if I just type in my, IntelliSense is saying, do you want my age? Yes I do. Click enter, Bob's your uncle, there we go. And then what I'm going to say is if my age equals to the value of 10, okay, open close brackets, over here inside these brackets it will basically execute code if this is true, okay. So that's the key point. If functions basically will have a specific scenario, a case, and over here we're checking is this variable equal to the value 10. If it is, then execute the code that's inside these this specific branch. The code that may be over here and further down, that will execute, but it won't be as part of this if statement. Okay, so if this is false, so if it's not 10, then it will fall over. It will basically fall outside. It will not execute the code inside here, and it will continue. But yeah, let's continue. This operator is called equality. Equals. It basically checks, is the value that's on the left, is it equal to the value that's on the right? We have given the variable my age the value of 10, so therefore this will be true because my age, which is this variable, is equal to 10. But let's see if that really indeed is the case by saying you are 10. Let's run this bad boy and then Bob's your uncle, there you go, bish bash bosh, you are 10. Now let's change this to 11 and then run it. Does it work? No, it doesn't. It has not printed out the you are 10 statement. Let's press up again to bring our code. Let's clear this. Now let's say if you are not equal to 10. Okay, so before I was saying is the value equal, so double equals is the equality check. Are you equal to 10? If so, execute this. If I want to say if you're not equals to 10, then execute this. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to print out you are 10? Let's see. Yes, it did. And the reason why is because we've given my age the variable 11 and my age, which is 11, is not equal to 10, and that's why it printed it out. So in a nutshell, you just have to make sure that what you're programming in the if statement, it's basically like what you're intending. Okay, so our intention here is to print out code. It's to execute this code if the variable my age is not equal to 10. So depending on what we want, we will change the operator. So if we do want it to be equal to 10, we use the double equals, which is the equality operator. We can use the not equals to. Okay, there's also another one where we can say if my age equals to 10 and I will explain what this is exactly in just a second. And let's create a brand new variable here called is logged in, for example. Give that the value true. If my age is equal to 10 and is logged in equals to true, then execute this code. Okay, what the and does is that it basically says this has to be true and also this also has to be true for us to execute this code. Both of these have to be true. Let's see if that works. and that doesn't work because my age is obviously 11. Let's change that to 10, clear this, run it again, and there you go, you are 10 and logged in, of course. So press up. What else can we do? We can say my age equal to 10 and is logged in equal to true. Let's change this to 11 and see what happens. We know what's going to happen. It's not going to print out anything. But what I want to demonstrate over here is what's called short circuit. Okay, so the AND operator, this double ampersand sign, it performs a short circuit. What that means is if this value is not true, it doesn't even bother looking at the value on the right hand side. It doesn't evaluate this expression at all because this is false. Okay, it knows that for the code over here to run, both of these need to be true. But if one of them is false, it doesn't need to continue, and it just simply short circuits. Just like if you do a bit of electronics, if you have a circuit, a short circuit is when the current doesn't continue, it doesn't loop around. So here is basically the same thing. Both of these need to be true in order for it to execute the code that's inside this body here, this specific body. Okay. Let's do more. Let's say if my age is equal to 20, okay, then print line you are 20, else print line you are not 20. So what do you think is going to happen here? Let's see. You are not 20. Okay. And that's exactly what the else branch does. The else branch basically means if this does not work, doesn't matter what my age is, just go ahead and print out you are 20. Okay. And obviously I can, put in more code over here. It's completely up to me, and same over here. I can do whatever code that I want to do. But this just demonstrates that the if function has got something called else. So if this is true, execute this. If this is not true, which in this case it isn't because my age is 10, it's not 20, execute this body over here, this branch. Furthermore, you can do something like this. I can say if my age is equal to 20, if that's not true, then do else if my age is equal to 15, print line you are 15, okay, else print line you are an unknown age, let's just say. Okay, let's execute this and it will say you are an unknown age. The reason why is because 10 is not 20, neither is it 15, so therefore it went to the last branch. In the most simplest form, this is pretty much what if functions are. If functions basically give you control over what your program does. If a specific variable or calling a function gives you a value, in this case my age, and if that value is not equal to or whatever the case is, you can basically control what the program does. Okay, so you can have 3 different outcomes, and these different outcomes are will be fired, will be executed, okay, will be run if a specific circumstance is true. Let's look at some different operators. There's an operator called OR as well, which is double ampersand. So if my age is equal to 10 or my age is equal to 20, then print line what should we say here? You are 10 or 20. Let's see if this works. Yes, it does. So can you guess what this does? This double pipe. in simple terms, what this does is that it says in order for this branch to be executed, this body, either the condition on the left has to be true or the condition on the right has to be true. Okay, so both the AND operator and the OR operator work on, they basically can be understood by what's called truth tables. Okay, a truth table. So if you just go into Google and type in truth table, you will be given a nice little table that says how AND works and how OR works. AND basically means all of the conditions have to be true in order for the value to truly work, for the value to be true, for the outcome to be true. OR basically means one of these has to be true for the outcome to be true. Okay, so you can imagine this branch over here, it will be executed if the condition is true. And this condition has got an OR. So either this has to be true or this has to be true. One of them has to be true for this to work. I can extend this this if function as much as I like. I can say if my age is equal to 10, or if my age is equal to 20, or if my age is equal to 30, which is actually my age right now, then you can say print you are 10 or 20 or 30. Let's see if this works. Brilliant, it does. It says you are 10 or 20 or 30. Wicked. Now the AND operator, I explained that it short circuits if the first expression is not true. That's not the case with OR. If this is false, it will still continue to go down. However, I believe that OR does short circuit if the first one's true. And the reason why is because OR basically means one of the values has to be true, right? One of these three has to be true for me to go inside the if block. So if this is true, then it just goes straight inside. It doesn't evaluate the expressions that are subsequent. Okay? Please do try to write these as much as you can, because it's one of the key parts of programming. Your code, your project that you will hopefully be working on will most certainly have in some way, shape or form a condition. Somewhere where you will have to control the flow. Given a specific input, you either execute process A or you execute process B. Okay, so in this case, process A is printing out you are 10 or 20 or 30, and process B is printing out I have no idea. So if I change this value over to 50 years of age, execute this, it says I have no idea. Again, these are two different possibilities, and based on the if statement, it will either go inside the if block or it will go inside the else block. And what else is there to cover about if statements? Do have a look on the OR and the AND operators in Kotlin. There's other things that you can do with them as well. You can have else if, okay, and then you can have another else if, and then another one else if, okay, and then finally you can have an else. And what this means is, if this is true, well, if this is not true, else if another expression is true, else if another one is, and basically it will traverse through all of the ones if they are false. If they are all false, it will just go inside the else block. If it's the case that the first one's true, then it completely ignores all of the remaining else's. Okay? So for this to work, these need to be true, and if they are, it will execute this. It will completely ignore all of these. Okay, let's demonstrate that actually. So my age, if it's equal to 100, then say you are old. And let's copy that one and say 200, and let's just say that's 300, and then over here let's just say 400. Let's put that there and just say you are 200. We'll just keep that we'll just keep it as that for now. Execute this, and nothing happens because the person is 50, and that's neither 10, 20, 30, nor is it 100 or 200. Okay, awesome. Next up, let's look at greater than. So there's other operators like greater than or less than, and the way you would write this is if my age is greater than 55, then print line you are over 55, else print line you are under 55. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's printed out you are 55, under 55, because my age is 50, which is true. What happens if I say 55? Okay, let's run this again. It says you are still under 55. The reason why is because the value 55 is not greater than 55. It is 55. Okay, so this would only work if you had actually done equals, right? So therefore, it didn't execute this branch over here. It executed the else statement. But if you wanted to check if a value is greater than, okay, so this is the greater than sign. I know that it's the greater than sign, sorry, because what I learnt in school was if it's bigger at the left hand side and smaller and going smaller, that means it's greater than. Whereas if I do less than, it's smaller to the left hand side, so therefore it's less than, it's smaller than. Okay, but let's go back to greater than. And yeah, if I wanted to have a scenario where I wanted to see is 55, is my age greater than or equal to, then print out you are 55 or over 55. Does this work? Yes, it does. You are 55 or over 55. Before I had double equals to check the equality, but in this example I only need to append a single equal sign after the operator greater than in Kotlin and in Java, and I believe in C# as well. Okay, I can say so if you're greater than or equal to 55, execute this, else if my age is less than or equal to 54, then say you are under 55. Now let's change this to 54. Execute this. It says you are under 55. Okay, so please do have a look on less than, greater than, ampersand, double ampersand, which is and, or, and I believe there's more as well. There's the XOR operator, there's the NOT operator as well, which we can actually briefly cover now. So if I have a Boolean called is logged in equals true, I can say if is logged in is not true, then print line you are not logged in. Let's execute this. Nothing will happen, of course, because is logged in is true. Let's go back and change that to false. It says you are not logged in. So that's what the not does. The not says it's not equal to true. If I say double equals, that means if is logged in is true, then execute this code. Okay. Here's something interesting though. Because this is a Boolean, I don't specifically need to say is it equal to true? Because it's a Boolean, it is a true or a false variable. I just need to have it as that. So if you've named your variable in a good way, it becomes very clear what the intention is and what's going on. Okay, so if is logged in, or if the user is logged in, which will make it very expressive and very clear then, then you can execute this code. Then it becomes you are logged in. Let's run this, and there you go. It says, oh wait, hold on. Whoops, let's put that to true, run it again, and as you can see, it says you are logged in. I can furthermore do this as well. I can say the negation, the not operator. I can say if the user is not logged in, right? So that exclamation mark there, it negates it. Basically, if it's a true, it becomes a false. If it's a false, it becomes a true. Okay, so if this is true, what we're saying here is if the user is not logged in, then print this out. So if I run this now, nothing will happen. However, if I change this to false and then execute it, it will say you are not logged in, which is exactly as what it says. Okay, so it would be really good if you could get your REPL window open and then just go nuts really. Just make some variables, use the AND operator, the equality operator, use the OR operator as well, the greater than, the less than signs, and try to come up with a scenario where it goes from different branches, because the more we do this, hopefully the more we will understand. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do comment, subscribe, thumbs up if you think that this was a good video, and I'll see you hopefully in the next video.